Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Diecast Resurrection. As you can see, I got my 66 Nova here. I've been playing with it a little bit. I already took it apart. I was test fitting some wheels. Get rid of these bad boys. This car is quite a bit cooler looking than the Cougar Eliminator we just did. But I think we can make it a lot sweeter. I want to do a little bit more custom paint. Believe it or not, I bought some more paints. On top of the candy paint, I got some new stuff. And I want to go kind of extreme with this thing. It's going to be flashy. It's going to be bright. The only catch is I don't really have a lot of good aftermarket wheels. So we might end up doing something similar to what we did on this. You know, it's just tough to find nice wheels sometimes. So might make myself a little muscle series that kind of features these wheels, and we'll go from there. So for now, I do want to get started on the paint for this. And again, this is another plastic base car, but these have some real nice detail on them, so I don't think it takes away from it too much. But I'm mostly interested in the castings. As you can tell, I'm feeling quite a bit better, back to my old self, and yeah, ready to make a video. And I went to the hobby store today and I found Jimmy a house. Check this out. Jimmy, it's perfect. It suits you right down to the ground, buddy. This is Jimmy's new trailer. We're going to be hanging out here from time to time, and I got to figure out how to get the LEDs working on this. This is from an HO gauge railway kind of diorama piece. I have a seat at the old picnic table there, but yeah, it looks just it's perfect. Perfect. Little Jimmy, he's moving on up in the world. Alright, so let's get started on our Nova here. We're going to strip some of this paint off. I should make a mental note of these tampos because they're actually kind of cool. 502, big block. This should be a nice clean custom we're going to do here today, so hopefully everything goes well. Let's get started. So here we are with our aircraft paint remover. As always, I'm going to be using the same can for the next 5 years, no doubt. We're using just a little teeny bit at a time here, so get this paint stripped off this thing, and I want to do some sort of two-tone. Not 100% sure what I want to do yet with the paint. I've got a couple ideas, but I'm not quite sold on any of them yet. Looking at some pictures, you know, on Google of Novas and what kind of Novas I'd like to own. I think that's kind of why I've been doing more real cars these days. The fantasy cars, they don't quite do it as much for me, and if I do too many of these here customs, you guys let me know. But this is kind of what I like. It should be a really nice car. There's no reason why this shouldn't be as nice as the Cougar Eliminator. So that basically does it for the paint. I'm going to go ahead and give this a little bath with some hot soapy water and a brass brush, and we will come back and check over this little body here, make sure everything's okay. Okay, we're back. This is looking clean. I'm going to grab a little file here. Of course, these castings, they look really good when they're painted, but to get them stripped, there's always something. Always something. I think we're going to try to make a black cherry today. Yeah, that'll look real good on this one. Well, this thing doesn't need too much work, actually. She's pretty good. I think I'm just going to do a little bit of sanding here. Don't even necessarily have to wet sand all the time. You can dry sand just fine. I know last time I did the candy paint, I went through it a little bit quick. I know you guys know I was sick, so I wasn't really taking the time to explain every little detail. I'll go through it a little bit more thoroughly today, because we're going to do a candy black cherry. maybe two-tone with some black, so it'd be real subtle kind of color shift in the sun, hopefully, but we'll see. We'll see where that ends up. Not sure what to expect. I haven't really done too much with the candy paints, but I did notice in my Amazon affiliate links, a couple of you guys just went ahead and bought a set. So, you know, good for you guys to just boldly go where very few men have gone before, or women. And, you know, you want to take the challenge and do some candy paints or some little baby Hot Wheels. I think that's pretty cool. So good for you guys. Got a couple bucks off that, so I appreciate that. And I'm going to keep bringing you some interesting colors, you know, so do what I can. Help you guys out, answer your questions, whatever you need. You guys will probably have more experience than me because I don't really do it when I'm not making videos, so just learning as we go. I'm going to give this one more bath. Actually, hold on, we got to drill. I do that every video. I'm going to go ahead and file these posts flat. You know what? I probably don't even need to. That one's pretty good. It's going to give them a punch to kind of reinforce where I want that drill bit to go. Probably not necessary on this car because my drills were pretty straight. But yeah. Just want to get this done and get on with the painting. I love me some painting. This is the boring part. And get me a fresh drill bit here. Well, the painting's probably the boring part for you guys. It's not very entertaining, but I like it. It works so much better with a new drill bit. Who would have thought? Amazing. Okay, I'm going to give this a little, one more little bath, and then we're going to give this a prime, and then we can start with the gloss black. Okay, so to do today's paint job, this is everything we need. I'm going to start out with a primer, which I actually don't have displayed here, but that's okay. And then we have to coat with a gloss black. We need a balancing clear to do our mixes. We have a Quicksilver chrome. We got a high performance reducer. And we got our two candy colors. One's black, one's blood red. We're going to mix these two together to make our black cherry. Now when using any of these Auto Air color products, all you got to do is read the instructions. So now these candy colors, they're not really paint. They're dye pigments. So what you have to do with these is you have to mix them with this balancing clear, which is pretty well just a clear coat that we're going to add color to. So when I mix this paint, I'm going to go for a 50-50 mix between whatever candy I'm using and however much balancing clear I need. So I'll do 50% balancing clear and then add 50% color. And then I'll just add enough high performance reducer, usually about 10% overall, to get the right thickness so that it's like milk. Quicksilver chrome right here. Don't need to add anything to it. So this will be pretty easy. I'm going to prime. I'm going to paint it gloss black, let it dry. We're going to make it silver, let it dry, and then we can mix our candy with our balancing clear and our reducer to spray our candy, and then I'm going to clear coat the whole thing in my regular 2K automotive urethane. So it's pretty challenging, you know, this is a lot of coats we're going to have to do to make sure that our car doesn't have any dust bunnies or anything on it. So pretty challenging paint job, but I'm confident that we're going to be able to pull this off no problem after doing it last time. So with that being said, I think we're ready to prime the Nova, and we're going to go from there. I'm just going to give it a light coat if I can, and hopefully everything goes good. So as you guys figured out by now, that this paint system is not for the faint of heart. This is pretty well doing as close to a professional paint job on a little die-cast car as you're going to get. The only other thing that might make a difference is if we use like a primer sealer, but we ain't doing that because I ain't planning to drive this Nova in the snow and slush and dirt. So I laid this on thicker than I wanted to, but that's because I needed this wet coat. If you start out with an orange peel on your base coat, it's just going to keep getting worse and worse and worse, and more than likely it's not going to smooth out. So you gotta make sure your primer coat is nice and smooth just to begin with, and then from there, it's kind of a cool color actually. Nova, Army Nova. We'll put some MASH stars on the side of this bad boy. That'd be sweet, you know. Go bang, ding, bing, bing, bing. Alright, so while that's drying, I can start prepping up my paint here. Get a little cup. Boop. If there's a marble in your paint, you gotta mix the hell out of it. It's more than enough. Oh yeah, that's nicely reduced. That'll spray just fine. So even though this is a little bit thicker than I would normally use, if I add reducer to it, I'm going to lose some gloss. And the whole point of doing this whole process with the Quicksilver is to have a glossy, glossy black paint. So I ain't touching that with any reducer. We're going to just spray it as is. One question I always get is, where do I get these little filters? Well, this isn't a little filter. These are full-size automotive filters. And I just take my scissors and I just cut off the cone. And I use this. If somebody out there were to make a bunch of little mini filters for airbrushes, you know, they'd probably make $1 million doing it. So there's a hot tip for somebody out there, but it's not going to be me. I haven't used this black yet, so I'm very curious how this is going to go. Really easing into that first coat. So I got my Quicksilver loaded up in here, as you can see, and we're going to start to make this kind of a chrome looking rad. We're going to stop right here and we're going to start mixing up a little bit of pigment, I think. It is quite a task painting these candy colors. A lot of work here. Alright, so we need our colors, and we need our balancing clear, and we need our reducer. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to do my colors. This is my black. Even when you watch the kind of tutorial videos from the Auto Air colors, they say you can eyeball the majority of this stuff. So that's what I'm gonna do. So that's our black candy, and we need, I think I said 6% blood red, so it's gonna be just a little bit. And now I need to match what I have for paint with my balancing clear. So about there. And then 10% reducer. Something like that. And that should be our crazy black cherry concoction. You can kind of see it already. The more coats you put on, the darker it's going to get, and eventually it is going to look just jet black. So that's what we want. This is pretty foamy, but I can tell how slow these drips are. I don't know if you can see it. That is not the consistency of milk at all, so we're going to need a little bit more of this. And we're just going to let this paint kind of chill and let all the bubbles, because this stuff actually foams up pretty good with my super power mixer here. So we're just going to give it a second and let it chill out. And if we need more reducer, we'll add more reducer. They recommend letting your paint sit for 5 to 10 minutes just so all the balancing clear and reducer, it all really kind of melds together. Hopefully we have a good effect. I think we're going to. The color looks really good. She's a little thick, but you know, we like them thick. Get our paint loaded up. Or shall I say our dye loaded up. Our pigment. Now that's coat 2. It's getting black really fast. So what they recommend with their candy is overlapping your spray pattern about 50%. So you do one pass and then you overlap that pass about 50% and 50% and 50%. That way you get the proper build. And then it's very important to have even color. If you have places that are too dark, it's going to just show up too dark for the whole paint job. Alright, so that's 4 coats. We're going to stop there. This thing pretty much looks like straight black, which is perfect because we don't actually see the true color until we get some clear coat on this thing and we get it out into the light. So I think this is going to look badass, and we are about to clear coat this thing, so stay tuned. Okay, clear coat time. I didn't hit record, so far in there we got some clear coat, we got some activator. We're just going to put some reducer in there, like so. I'm just going to mix this up the old-fashioned way. One of these nice little sticks. Alright, so I'm quite a ways into this, and unfortunately, I'm not really feeling it. Having a closer look at this cup, you can see that there is a purple tinge to our black, but there isn't like that red cherry we were looking for, so unfortunately I didn't add enough of the blood red into the black. So what I ended up with mostly is just a sparkly black paint job here. So I'm going to change it up a bit, and we're going to get a little crazy and try to save this project, and we're gonna go from there. So just trust me. So just trust me on this one. We're gonna do something extreme here. So plan 1 kind of a fail. Plan 2 masked off for a 2-tone. I wet sanded the clear coat, and I got some Hot Rod purple sparkle. We're gonna try this out. Oh, these new products have been kind of fighting me the whole way this weekend. Hard to tell, you know, what's right. Is this supposed to look like? You Redline guys would like this. Here we have a little silhouette. No big deal, right? Now check out this silhouette. Like, what in the heck is this thing? This is an old McDonald's toy. I had no idea that they made a Redline McDonald's toy, and this thing is just absurd. It's pretty funny. I'll have to do a wheel swap on this bad boy one day because this thing looks like a tractor. Okay, so here's our body. I don't want to give up too many secrets here. I got to do a couple little more little touches on it. Let's put that down there carefully. Very carefully fill in these tail lights. Wish this casting was a little bit better. These tail lights aren't very crispy looking. Make me use a brush. You gotta stop breathing when you do stuff like that. Okay, so we're gonna put that aside for now. Let's do its thing. And get this off my finger. I was thinking about swapping these wheels out, and I tried a couple different ideas here, and I even loaded up a pair into the old Econoline here, but ultimately I ended up sticking with these. I think they're gonna look badass. As far as cheap wheels go, these are probably the nicest ones. These ones we took off the old Cougar or Junk, but I'm actually feeling these. These look pretty good, and they really do suit this car, as you guys will see in a minute here. I believe this outside section gets the orange treatment. Something like that. I'm going to do a couple more layers on it. Blip, 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 blip. I like it. There we go. Black acrylic. Fine tip. So I'm hoping I can just add a little bit of color. And then before it dries, try to clean the chrome a little bit here. I'm just looking for a little bit of color. I don't want to get this thing totally blacked out because it's not supposed to be. But in the same breath, I don't want it totally chrome. We're kind of looking for like a dirty chrome look. Try to give it a little bit of realism here if I can. Something like that, you know. You know what I'm saying, Vern? Yeah, it looks more like a grill. Blib, 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 blib. Sweet. So now I got headlights. I don't really know what I can do with that. They're pretty chrome. I don't know, this car's kind of Pro Street looking. So maybe we'll be a little different. Just to jazz it up. We'll give this thing some gold headlights. Just kind of give it a cool look, you know. I don't want to just leave it chrome. Yeah, it looks kind of tough. Feeling that though, that's a good look. Oh, Jimmy, are you okay? Jimmy. Jimmy. If you guys haven't met Jimmy, this is Jimmy. Hey guys, I'm Jimmy. I'm gonna lean up on this sweet car. There you go, Jimmy. Cool, I think we're ready to put this bad boy together. And I will show you the secret paint. The secret paint. I didn't do anything with the interior. Plain Jane. It's okay with me. A nice clean black interior. Perfectly fine. This on here. Very carefully. Dee 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 doo, dee 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 doo, dee 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 doo. And put one of these in the front. Alright, you guys probably ready to have a look at this bad boy. What do you think? Doesn't look too fancy, right? Kind of looks like a nice blue. Pretty plain Jane, or is it? Or is it? You guys remember that hot rod flake I put on there? Check the hood out. Sup? So if you guys remember, my initial idea to make a black cherry candy didn't really work out. I didn't add enough red, so I just ended up pretty well with black. I mean, you see nothing. There's some sparkles in there, but there's like zero red. So my bad, I didn't put enough in. But putting the sparkles on top, I think we saved this build. Because it's a pretty good looking car. I don't know which one's more badass now. I don't know, I'm really feeling them both. Definitely be happy to have either or. But I love Novas. Absolutely love Novas. You can just see the purple kind of glinting. Glinting purple. I like it. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let's get her up on the rotisserie. Jimmy, get your house off the rotisserie. Check this out. I can hook up some LEDs. And we can get Jimmy some light. I really like these curtains, by the way. Those are real good. So there you guys have it. That's another muscle car in the books. I love doing these things. But I think it's time we do a Redline, so more than likely I'll be doing a Redline next video. Hope you guys enjoyed this custom paint job. Too bad it didn't work out exactly the way I wanted, but I think it looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. So we're going to keep on trying new things and see where it takes us down the road. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.